everybody out there. I'm Alice Flores, and we are here at Christie Pits protesting what has been happening here. 3 sexual assaults has been happening in the last 3 weeks in this area, and there is a protest against that because we want women to take the streets back and to demand safety for women and girls anywhere in the city. We believe that any city should provide safety for women and girls, and any time, any hour, and they should be protected by this kind of assaults.
Some community members decided to do a rally today here at Christie Pits around the sexual assaults that have been happening all over the annex. But I believe that there's all sorts of sexual assaults that are being reported in the Queen and Sherbourne area, in Kensington. So I think there are a lot of things that are happening right now in the city around sexual violence.
I'm very concerned about the safety of women in this area, and the safety of women really in all areas in Ontario. We are still obviously not safe, and you cannot have equality without safety. So we're here talking about really taking back the streets and taking back the right to walk around safely. This is a basic human right, and it underscores everything else. And I was saying to the women here, I've been turning out to feminist demonstrations and organizations like this for about 44 years now in the city. And unfortunately, some of our key demands still haven't been met, and this is one of them: freedom from sexual assault.
I think it's awful that anyone gets sexually assaulted, and I live not very far away from here. I work at U of T on the downtown campus. And I just think it's really important that women and men feel safe to walk by themselves at night in the middle of this area. People can obviously take safety precautions, but you know, my safety is my responsibility, but it's also everyone else's responsibility. In Canada, we have a constitutional right to the safety of our person, and that's the reason why I'm here tonight.
All that we could ask for is that every time you see a man oppress a woman, whether it's with a sexist t-shirt, whether it's with a joke, whether it's with a comment or whistling on the street, whether it's grabbing or molesting, every time you see this crap, let's have this many people out to say we are taking steps to protect ourselves every goddamn day, and we've got to stop telling women what to do to protect. We are careful. We keep our phones on us. We dress the way that we feel good about dressing. We look around us. We check our route home. We check in with people. We have people waiting for us. We ask for somebody to accompany us if we feel unsafe. We do these things. We got to stop talking to women about what we should be doing. We got to stop talking to cops to say we need more police, because that's not the answer.
For me, I think that having an anti-violence attitude should be part of everyday life, not just when something high-profile happens in the community, like the assaults that have happened. So I'm really glad that everybody's here and wanting to resist and talk and get together to talk about public assaults. But I think it's equally important for us, especially for women, to remember that to be safe, we also have to think about, you know, our personal relationships, and particularly cases of domestic assault and abuse, I think, are probably a lot more common than this assaults by a stranger in the streets in our community, and that it's important when we think and talk about anti-violence to think about both those things.
I know what I read in the papers, you know, that there's been a series of assaults that have happened, about 10 in this neighborhood over towards Spadina and College. Sounds like the same guy coming up behind women and grabbing them and molesting them and sexually assaulting them, and then, you know, running away like the coward that he is. But also people have talked about sexual assaults over in the Wellesley and Yonge area. We had the terrible, awful situation, a woman who was killed and dismembered, the woman from China recently, and that's been in the news. So the levels of violence, you know, the levels of violence against women are always very, very high in our society, but most of it doesn't make the news. Recently, a lot has been making the news. It tends to be the stranger assaults. It tends to be the very sensational kind of stuff, and we need to pay attention to that. So great people are coming out here to this neighborhood to say, you know, we want to be safe. We demand the right to be safe in our own neighborhood. But, I mean, this is the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? There's always this kind of violence, women dealing with this, women adjusting their lives, adjusting where they walk, adjusting, you know, all sorts of stuff in an effort to protect ourselves. And, you know, it's just really important for people to come out here and show solidarity with each other and try to say, you know, we want this neighborhood back and we want to keep it safe.
We know that many of us here are survivors, and many of us know someone that is a survivor and been affected by sexual assault. I want to take a moment of silence together as a community before we head out to march. Zoe, who is amazing, Zoe, raise your hand just one more time. Zoe will be coming up to explain how we're going to be marching in the route. But before that, we want to take a moment of silence, just to think about and reflect on what's been happening, and maybe some of the violence in our own lives, maybe some of the people that we know affected by it, and maybe the conversations we want to be having when we get home tonight.
Sexual violence in our communities gets to the core of our communities. It destroys the core of our communities. I want to say thank you to the people who decided to create this march, create this rally today. It was a huge act of courage to say not just no to the people who are sexually assaulting women in many communities across Toronto, but it's a huge thing to say no as a big community and to make this much noise together.
It's difficult to be here for another reason. Many years ago, a group of men got together after a very horrific and tragic act in Montreal, and they stood together and said, we don't want to see this kind of violence against women anymore. And we as men are going to stand up against violence against women in every form. And
well, we can't stand for it, and that's why the community's coming together and say, you know what, we're going to work together as a community. We're going to take back our streets. We're going to take back our community. We're going to make sure there's more eyes on the street, and we're all going to stand up for each other. We're going to stand up because we care about each other. We care about this community, and that's why I think we found so many people on a holiday Monday night that were willing to come out and stand together, and that's exciting to see so many people come together. It fills me with hope that maybe that we can, as a community, protect all of the community members.
And so I think right now people are really galvanized around this particular moment, because we have seen a rush of sexual violence against women, and women are coming together and saying, no, this is not okay, and trans people and people of color, everybody's coming together.
Yeah. Well, we also hear a lot that men needs more education.
Yep. Yeah, I think that there needs to be more discussion with young men and with women around consent, what that looks like, around what it looks like when you do sexually harass somebody, what that impact is on someone else, right? So like when I'm walking down the street and some men think it's okay to yell at me or that way, I think we need to talk about what sex is, but not just about sex, but what consent looks like, what healthy relationships can look like, what being a real man is about, right? Is being a real man being a sexual predator? No, right?
Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! Fight back! 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 Fight back!